What is up, everybody? And that was going to probably happen today because it's been that kind of morning. Good morning, everyone. It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show, the home of Epic Conversations. And I'm the host of Epic Conversations, 2018 Innovation Award winner, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads, fathers, and male caregivers that's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And being part of that movement, we've reached out directly and indirectly to over 400,000 dads, fathers, and male caregivers around the world. And as always, I'd like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. Good morning, Ryan Knight. How are you?
Let's go, Blue Jays. Let's go. How am I? I'm not able to take this off until the playoffs are done. It is goal time.
You're going to shower in it?
Hey, whatever it takes. Everybody, whatever you did to seal the deal, your rituals, superstitions, it is full force from now till the end of the World Series, which the Blue Jays, we want to be representing because we sealed the AL East. Best record, well, tied with the Yankees, but best record in the AL. But the playoffs are going to be interesting, man. I don't know about this format where if you win your division, you could still be in the wild card. Because, looking at the standings, it's like Seattle, no, they're got the bye. But Cleveland, they ended up edging out Detroit. But they still have to face Detroit in the wild card to get into the ALDS. This is an interesting. And so Boston came in third behind the Yankees, and now they have to face the Yankees starting tomorrow for the wild card. And then the winner of that faces the Blue Jays. So it's gonna be.
But you're happy.
Oh yeah, like you have you gotta play the game. You have to be in it to win it. So they're in, and yeah. So for those that are following along, what happened with the NL? So no, I don't know if people have been paying attention, but Seattle's in the playoffs. Like the Seattle Mariners have been irrelevant for how long? And also Milwaukee. No, I think they had the best record in the National League, 97 wins, and they are in the playoffs. So for those that are following along and go with the ebbs and flows of different teams on their journeys.
Well, so I have a question for you. How many people are in that you know of are into baseball like you are?
Well, I have a lot of baseball friends because I played baseball from young until I would say
no kidding.
So yeah, so my Facebook is full of past baseball buddies that are still following the Jays. So yeah, but then in business, so outside of baseball, yeah, how many people do I know? I know Jennifer Vivian, who is the manager of the Brampton Entrepreneur Center.
Okay.
So we developed a friendship, and she is an avid baseball fan. And she actually posted something pretty funny on Facebook talking about, because she went to the last two games, and she's like,
oh, wow.
Hey, I'm not saying that I'm the reason they won, but why jinx it? Send me some tickets so I can go to the rest of the playoffs. I was like, yo, I can't argue with that logic. So yeah, there's some good chatter on the Facebook feed. I'm seeing some bandwagoners straggle out that I've never seen that they were Blue Jays fans, and suddenly their Facebook feed is filled with stats and highlights. So yeah, but it's all good. The more the merrier. Everybody, we have to rock the house like we did for the Raptors in 2019, and definitely like we did back in the 90s for the Blue Jays with the back-to-back. So looking forward to that.
So in your baseball days, what position did you play?
Started out as back catcher.
Oh, then, wow, tough position.
Yeah, and I remember, I think the knees, still have some lingering bits from it, but shifted to shortstop for
rocket arm.
Out to center field, center and left. In the
Mr. Rocket Arm. Okay.
Nah, man, that was good times. It's interesting to
Okay.
see my son Christian. He played baseball for the first time this past summer, so we'll see if he wants to keep with it. I know he's been playing basketball too, so those are the two sports he's been touching on. And now football season's also here. So Christian and my daughter Jazz, they're playing flag football at school. I think they have their tournaments coming up. So yeah, the sports are starting to get some.
So this is the night. So is it night athletics?
Right. Because you said your sport was rugby.
Well,
Was it
I played a lot of
football?
different sports in high school. I played football. I played basketball.
Hmm.
Played a little bit of rugby. Also but I refereed football,
Ah,
basketball, volleyball, ball hockey, and
gotcha.
but actually, I refereed more games than I played.
Okay. And man, street hockey, I don't know if,
Violent.
but I'm talking, no, street hockey is not violent. Like when
Well,
you play with your
I'm
friends.
talking ball hockey. Ball hockey, when I refereed, it was a very violent
Really?
game.
Okay. I was noticing
Very
kids aren't out
violent,
playing
violent game.
street hockey anymore. Like that used to be an after school
Yeah.
staple for us.
You see more basketball nets in street hockey.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very, very interesting. Yeah, I don't. I very rarely I see more basketball nets than street hockey.
Yeah, maybe, and it's a easier sport to pick up. I mean, you put up a basketball net, one ball, and the everybody can pretty much get into it. With street hockey, you have to have your stick, goalie equipment, enough
More
people to
expensive,
have two teams.
more expensive too.
Yeah,
Hockey the whole bit, but
absolutely.
that's cool. So what went on during your weekend?
Weekend was quiet. There was so we work with Delta Family Resource Center, which is an organization that supports youth and families in they're by Kiel. No, I'm not talking about Kiel. Oh my gosh, Etobicoke, North Etobicoke. But we do a youth entrepreneurship program with them. So ACBN, we partnered with Delta. So that launched the Saturday. And then I did see the Taste of the Caribbean was happening. That we talked about it on Friday. Startup Peel, which is part of a division of Startup Canada, was doing Taste of the Caribbean in partnership with the city of Brampton. So it was at City Hall. And the Federation for Black Communities had their Impact Gala that was on Saturday as well.
Were you at it?
No, I wasn't at anything. I was
What are you feeling?
taking care
Okay.
of the kids. You had to calm down this weekend, but was
Nice.
working yesterday with Detail Ignites and training some new staff.
And
But
good weather.
yeah,
The
man,
what?
this whole week I was looking at the forecast and it was like sun. So this looks like I don't know if it's going to be the end to summer, but technically it's fall. So we'll see how long it lasts. But yeah, this week is looking solid.
Your phone is blowing up, man. I'm hearing the notifications like crazy. All just like,
Yes. Oh,
oh, so for people, if you're saying Dr. Vibe, you're not looking at the screen. Well, I had one of those mornings that I got up. I thought over the weekend I had set everything up for the show. So when I come in this morning, nothing set up. I'm going, OMG. And plus, there were
ooh.
some links I had provided Ryan and also our friend Emma, who's going to be with us in a few moments. They weren't working, going, what the? So I had to be, if the little hiccup at the beginning, yes, but I pretty much everything should be set up so the show runs somewhat smoothly over the day. To actually, there's one more thing I have to do, but I'll be able to do it in the next few minutes.
Gotcha. Yeah,
What
faith.
else? What else went on this? What else went on this week? Anything else?
Yeah, Buffalo Bills are 4-0
Oh
after
man,
week
you love your
four.
sports, eh, man?
It gives a good escape when you work so hard during the week. You can just check out and relax, enjoy some sporting events. And again, yeah, baseball, football, hockey. This is that time where it's really ramped up. CFL is in full swing. Argonauts are not doing great, so hopefully they can right the ship. But Yeah. So
Interesting.
who's it? Philadelphia. They are 4-0 as well.
Man,
Buffalo,
man,
and
Ryan is
then
our. I guess, do we have to put this segment at the beginning? Ryan Night Sports.
hey, you let me know. I'll prepare. I'll be ready.
Okay, yeah. Well, actually,
The sport checking.
my younger brother, has been a
Mm.
season's ticket holder for the Argonauts for
Ah,
years. And the funny thing is, they're actually changing things in the CFL. They're making it a 100-yard field.
yes, and reducing the size of the
Yeah,
end
and
zone.
a lot of the players are not happy about it.
Well, people are calling it a shift to be more NFLized. So it's looking more closely like the NFL, and they're wondering if that shift, because the biggest shift would be the 3 downs versus 4 downs. If
Are
they
they going to
ever,
four?
I, not, I'm just saying that would be like the full transition to
Okay,
mimicking the NFL. But right now, like you said, they reduced the field to 100 yards, which is like the NFL, and the end zone is now smaller, like the NFL. So people are they're sniffing, they're smelling it in the air. It's like, hey, where are we going with this? So we'll see. But
okay,
I think the end zone was just. I mean, it was the quirk of the CFL, but it didn't make sense because then the field is like 150 yards when you include the end zones.
all right, okay. I just have one more thing to set up, so we're pretty much set up. The rest can be done in a little bit, but we're going to take a break. And thanks everyone for taking your time. The most important thing to hang out with us today. Yeah, I think we're ready to go for a break. So we'll be back in about 30 seconds. We'll do some house house cleaning, housework, and then we're going to have Emma on talking about a very important subject, especially to people like myself and Ryan. So we'll be back in 30 seconds. What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here. These are two ladies. They're not all over the place. They're forward and they're straight shooters.
I got to stand in front.
No wonder people don't understand what the Democrats have been doing. That man lied 36,000 times, and we know this because you all counted it.
This is part of the story that a lot of news outlets are not talking about. Saturday afternoon is fire with Lala and Aisha K. They were getting it, and man, there's stuff going on down south of the border, but we're not going to talk about that.
Yes.
We not got that. That's their business, even though we're involved indirectly. So let's talk about it. Subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. We're just a smidgen away from 1,920 subscribers. So if you have already subscribed on YouTube, thank you. If you haven't and you're up to it, please do that. Also follow the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Substack. Join the Morning Vibe Discord group by emailing me at dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com or click on the link in Discord. And if you want to advertise your business, product, or service on any of our platforms that I'm involved with, email me dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. And then finally, cannot forget Dr. Tache, as I like to call her, Dr. Tachi, Indie Soup Media independent content creators platform of just over 28,000 YouTube subscribers. Been around for about 18, 19 months. And as always, remember, only 4% of all YouTube channels have over 10,000 subscribers.
Nice.
That is a big thing. We have some comments in the house. Frequency Event Promotion says, greetings, hope you're fine. Also says, where's Joe Carter, Kelly Gruber, Tony Fernandez, Tom Henke, Juan Guzman, Dr. Vibe, Ryan, and Christopher, when you need some real J's. So, do you remember some of those names, Ryan?
Absolutely. I'm still shocked Joe Carter did not get into the Hall of Fame. That was a big.
He isn't?
No, he didn't get the minimum in order to stay on the ballot. So he lost his chance to be in the Hall of Fame, which was a snub. Definitely Jays fans thought that he should be in. still the only player to end a World Series on a multi-run home run. So yeah. Other than that, yes, definitely. Where's Roberto Alomar? I'm not seeing Paul Molitor, John Orud in that list. Come
Wow,
on,
you're
Tito
hard.
Gaston. How you not gonna put the leader, the general? So yeah.
All right, you got that. And haven't he's in the house. JJ Mars from Colorado. Good to see you. Good to see you as always. And I believe Emma is ready. Once she gives me a thumbs up, she's giving me a thumbs up. So why don't we make it happen? And I am really enjoying Emma's presence on the platform, family.
Mhm.
And actually, we did something over the weekend. We discussed a very interesting story involving Serena Williams and cotton, which was quite interesting. But you know what? Let's bring her on. So Emma's in the house. What's going on, Emma?
Hello, gents, and gents.
Good to see
I love
you.
it. Gents, and gents. I love it. I love it. That's fantastic. How you been?
I'm a little tired, but I'm here. You
Okay.
know, when you can wake up in the morning and put one foot in front of the other, there's no room for complaints.
100%. 100%.
Yes,
I
so
fully
true.
agree with you. Fully agree. What other than doing content as always, how was your weekend?
It was good. Yesterday, I visited a film set,
Oh.
and I got to meet the director and screenwriter and just see how the whole thing flows. And it was a nice experience. I mean, working TIFF, I kind of really fell in love with film. Like I always was I'm a film lover,
Okay.
but I really fell in love with every aspect of it. You know, the whole setup, the whole process, the writing, the scripts, the crew, just the filming process. It's great. And fortunately, I've met some really great people in film that have invited me to come and visit the set and just see how things work. And so it's been really nice. So yesterday we were on. The shoot was at a massive estate,
Mm.
Oh,
and because the scenes were being shot in the house and outside of the house, so it was just it was a great experience. But man, do they work 12 hours? I'm like, wow, how?
Yes.
Yeah, so it was nice, but it was really, really nice. It was nice.
Yeah, it's so amazing just watching the credits at the end of a movie and
Oh,
how many people it takes.
so many people. You know, you sit for an hour and a half or 2 hours and you don't realize all the work that goes into those 2 hours. You
Yes.
know, so yeah, it's really, really nice to see. And I've just fallen in love with it even more. So that
yeah,
was
but
my
there's
week.
also so I know Mr. Knight wants to deem himself king of AI, but what AI is going to do in regards to how many people are going to be involved in the film process going forward is going to reduce the labor drastically.
Yeah, I think the only thing that would maybe be a little unfortunate is that some people will be out of work, right?
100%, 100%, 100%. That people got to realize it and they got to master it. And it's actually interesting because if people, I think some people know, have a lot of interns throughout the year, and I'm telling them, guys, what are you going to do when you graduate? How are you mastering this AI thing in your profession?
That's the thing. You got to get with it or get left behind. And that's the bottom line.
100%.
Yeah, but I think it'll become, especially with movies, it'll become its own category because right now there's animation and real life, and AI is somewhere in the middle. It's still not real life. Like to have just artificial mimicking of even artists and movies and people, it it'll never be the real thing. And again, maybe movies turn into more in-person experiences, like more plays, like maybe that picks up because people actually want to see people. I don't feel like it'll just kill the industry and people will lose their jobs. I think it's going to create a new industry, just like animation did when that came in and said, okay, is everything going to be animated instead of going to see real people? It just became its own category.
Also, there are just some things that AI can't do. Like AI can't be that cameraman capturing all of these hard shots that they need, and angled shots
Mm.
and things like that. I think if anything, it'll help perfect certain things, or like, and cut time with a lot of things. That's what I'm thinking.
Gotcha.
It's just like with musicians. I know some of them really get bent out of shape about these people that are able to create music with AI, but they can't get on the stage. They can't play the drums. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things that it really can't touch. It can just maybe perfect or enhance or things like that. But unless you want to get a hologram to stand there and
Hey, they're testing it. I mean, they did what, a Tupac and Michael Jackson. I
that is
seen those
creepy. I'm sorry, but I would not look. These people are dead and gone. I don't want to go and see a hologram of these people.
Right, right.
Like, no, that is so creepy to me.
Well, let's realize though, we're talking about our generation. The generations after us are used to this stuff,
Mm.
Oh, I know. Oh my
right?
God.
They grew up with this stuff where we had to adapt to it. They grew up with it, so it'll be interesting to see going forward how it is. Because I was watching a show last week. There was I saw a news story that a lady just signed like a $3 million deal
Mm.
for an AI artist. Like all this stuff is AI generated. She just it's just putting her voice over it.
Wow.
And I think the deal. Did she sign it with Timberland?
Interesting.
I think Timberland's heavily involved in that. So there's a whole conversation about creativity. Um, are you using original content? All that stuff that goes on in that space. Well, that's a whole other conversation.
Absolutely.
But today, Emma wants to talk about something that's important, I think, to some people: Black men's health. Emma, why'd you want to chat about this one today?
Well, I feel like men in general and black men often don't really take charge of their health. Something can be bothering a man, and I'll be like, go to the doctor, go get this checked out. Yeah, I'll go. Yeah, I get to it. And then before you know it, it's too late.
Mm.
Or something, is going on that had been going on for a while, and it could have been a preventative thing, but because they left it to go and go and go, then you get this tragic news. And we've been seeing, like, in our house anyway, there's a lot of people, like black men, that have passed away, and it's like you just see it on Facebook or something. It's like, what? I didn't even know this person was sick, and they're like 55 and 54, and it's like, what is happening? So that's the physical side, and then we have the mental health side, where you're hearing black men are unaliving themselves, and it's like, okay, what is going on here?
Right.
I think one of the ones that really shocked me was, I don't know if a lot of people know him from the dance world, but Twitch, Stephen Boss. I
Yeah.
was so,
Yes.
like, you see this man, and he was like a light to everybody's life. He was just such a joy to watch, to watch dance, and just even the way he presented on camera. And like, you feel like, this is, I want his life. He's so happy all the time, and not knowing he had this inner turmoil going on. And it's just like, why did he not feel like he could turn to anybody? Why didn't he feel like he could get help? Like, what goes on with black men? So for me, that when I saw, okay, this is Men's Health Month, it's prostate in particular, right?
Mm.
I was like, men, you got to go and get your annual physicals, your semi-annual physicals, whatever it is, do it. And if something's going on with you, either mentally or physically, that's persistent, go and get it checked out. Don't, I'm a man, I'm strong, nothing's wrong with me. Don't do that.
Yes, yes.
And a lot of them do that too. It's like, I don't need to, I'm fine. Let me just go outside and take a walk. Or let me go lie down and I'll be all right. And it's like, no.
Yes, walk it off. We'll just walk it off, rub some
Yeah,
dirt on it. We're
I'll
good.
just go outside and get some fresh air. It's like, no, So that's why I felt like it's important to acknowledge and encourage, men to, just stay on top of your health. I mean, some people seem to feel like it's an inconvenience, but it's not. 10, 15 minutes, an hour of your time to sit in a doctor's office and get your labs done and whatever is well worth it. It'll be much more inconvenient if something ends up being wrong with you, right? That you could have.
Well, we also see, because when you go to the doctor, there's very few outcomes that can happen when you go to the doctor. It's either, okay, you're fine, and then a man, I'll feel like, oh, it's a waste of my time to come talk to this guy because I'm fine, or something's wrong, and now your whole world is gonna be uprooted. So both options to me are bad. So
Well,
going to
and
see the
which do you
doctor is like,
prefer? Pick your poison, right? It's like,
that's why we pick neither. We're like, going to see the doctor just will cause either this was a waste of time or now my life has to be completely changed. And then you're thinking of how you're living now. Like, okay, do I want to completely change my diet? Do I want to exercise every day? Like, these are the outcomes that's going to come when you go to the doctor and they find something. So this is what I feel men are avoiding. They're like, can I hold off as long as possible living my life how I want to live, and then usually something bad happens, but it's too far gone that they can't reverse it. So the conversation is more, can we go to doctors and have something positive come out of it? Like, that's where the conversation would change. But right now it's always, you're going there to find out what's wrong with you. And that's a hard conversation to encourage somebody to go and have.
I mean, for me, I'm more of the mindset of, and let's be honest, there are some women that do this too. Like, we'll be suffering with something, and we just keep going. We got to work. We got to take care of
Right.
the kids. We got to do this. We tend to do that as well. But we're talking about men. But um, why would we not want to? How do we know it's always going to be bad news? Like, if you go for your annual physical, and they
Mm.
say, "Oh, your blood pressure is slightly elevated. But here's what you can do: go take a walk every day, a brisk walk." Isn't that like I would be?
That's bad news. Like, for a man, as I'm
Oh
saying,
my gosh!
for a man that, let's say, is lazy like me and does not get up every morning to go for a walk, the doctor telling me, you can be in a lot of trouble with your health if you don't get up every day and go for a walk. On the surface, that is a better way to live. I'm not arguing that I should be going out for a walk, but it's a complete shift to how I'm living. So now it's like, yo, I went and talked to this man, and he's telling me I have to get up every day. That, I don't want to hear that. So by all means, and yes, it is on my list because my doctor did tell me I need to go walk more. So that is something
There you
I actually
go.
need
You
to do.
see that? And
But
you went to the
it's not
doctor.
that, like, it's perceived as something new. It's now, I have to change my discipline, right? So when you're telling people to be more disciplined, you're gonna get resistance. So that's where that's why we're hesitant, because you would think logically, and men always say, oh, we're so logical, we just, being better with your health is a logical thing to do, yet we're so resistant to it. That's hard to understand what's going on in our head.
Oh man, please do this. Go to the
Hmm.
doctor. Just do it annually.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
annually go to the doctor. Like, honestly. And then that's the other thing. Men will go to the doctor and you get your requisition form and it just sits somewhere.
Oh
You
boy,
know,
gotcha.
this has
Yes.
been here for months. Have you gone to do your blood work yet? Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Yes.
My father had to have major surgery because he had a very enlarged prostate,
Hmm.
and that's for like from years of just uh, you know ah, go when I go, and he ended up having to have major surgery, and it took a long time to recover because, well, the older you get, the harder it is, and the longer it is to recover from things, right? And the more risks there are. So it's super important. And I think with men at a certain age, you got to get your PSA. I think it's called that blood test. So important. Men,
Absolutely.
go get checked out, please. Listen to Auntie M. Auntie M.
Yes. And shout out to the organizations like the Walnut Foundation, where they really talk about or advocate for men to get their checks. And so they talk a lot about prostate. I remember Dr. Isaac and Anthony Henry, them being able to keep this organization going. Like Dr. Isaac has passed now, but Anthony and his team has kept it going. And that's what makes me aware of, hey, yes, I need to definitely get checked because it can happen and it's happening younger. So it's like, not that I'm resistant to being healthier, it's more of resistance to that full change in your lifestyle, and sometimes when your back is up against the wall and you have no choice, it's easier for a man to submit and be like, okay, I will do all the healthy things. But when you still feel healthy, you don't want to uproot everything. But like you said, a lot of the things happening on the inside, and it's getting worse if you don't catch it. So, yeah, it's
If
it's
I
a
if
tough
I,
mental shift.
I have permission to, there's comments coming in, so I just want to
Mm.
share them with the audience. So JG Mars says there's a questionable mental health theory in Black America called suicide by cop, which is supposed to explain the astronomical numbers of law enforcement killing of Black people. Also, the Macmillan Group's in the house says, good morning. Speaking as a Black man, there are so many complexities for us as just going to the doctor.
Do
Yeah.
tell. What are the complexities?
You were reading
I
my
know.
alleged
I
mind,
know
Emma, and
Ryan.
I'm going to unload on that. Also, we have, he says, in my opinion, it is much easier, Ray says, for a Black woman to speak to a female doctor regardless of race, while a man, it is not as simple. There is a level of distrust with that dynamic. And then Hayden Morrison says, there's also the issue of trusting doctors who get paid for procedures and prescriptions.
So,
Mm.
um, I can understand the lack of trust because even for us as Black people going to the doctor in general, I happen to know from like just covering stories of doctors and nurses that are Black in the field that just go through a lot of anti-Black racism, like systemic racism. But some of them even have mentioned that in school they're taught that Black people have thick skin. They got thicker skin than, and with that, they kind of their takeaway is that our pain threshold is high. So oftentimes we're stereotyped. Like if we come in and we're in excruciating pain, oh, they're just here for drugs and things like that. So there's a lot of things that aren't taken seriously. Also, the lack of race-based data in Canada when it comes to Black health is a problem as well. They're starting to get better, but it's still somewhat fragmented. Where, for example, if you go for blood work, they are calculating some of the results based on a 40 or 35 to 40-year-old white male.
Yeah.
So they have to take this and then calculate this and do this equation, and then you get the Black person's result. And it's not always 100% accurate. So I get what we're saying where that's concerned. That's why it's also really important to have a Black doctor. I know my doctor is Nigerian, and he's
Mm.
amazing. So it's that's also important too, is to get a doctor that really understands your the Black DNA regardless of the lack of race-based data. So I agree with that, but I still feel like we should take charge of our health. So if you go to a doctor and you're not satisfied with the way you're being treated, or how you're being received or perceived, just go to another one. Like that's my thing. I'm not gonna. I've been through that. I'll go to a doctor and they'll be like, "Oh, you're fine. It's probably just anxiety. Here's some anxiety medicine." It's like, what? Did you even touch me? Did you even check my blood pressure? Did you like? They just sit at their computer and they're
And prescribe. Yeah.
they literally just writing you a prescription pad, and it's like time to move on. You really are not taking what I'm telling you seriously. So it's about finding the right doctor, and it's not particularly easy in
No,
Ontario.
it's not. No,
Yeah,
it's
'cause a lot of
not.
doctors aren't accepting new patients too. That's the other thing.
Right. Right.
But I was fortunate that a clinic opened up and they were all Nigerian doctors, and they're all of them are equally as good as the other. So it does take some time, and that's another inconvenience. But again, for me, it's more convenient for my health. So I'm not going to allow these doctors to bank on anything being an inconvenience for me.
Right.
You know,
Yes.
so yeah. So I, I,
Uh,
I can I can understand that the trust element for sure.
just want to get your permission to interrupt again. Macmillan Group says, thanks, Mr. Morrison. You get it. Also, JJ Marr says, Hayden Morrison, in America, there were many Tuskegee type of experiments performed on Black people over the last 150 years.
Yep.
So there is, in general, just a lack of trust
Trust seems to be
amongst
the big.
many people who look like us about the medical system, and understandably so. I think people in general now, a lot of people have their distrust with the medical system.
Yeah.
Very
I don't disagree with that. I just think we have to do our diligence to find the right physician.
Got it. Well, I guess I'm the outlier here because I go to as people know who regular, I go to my doctor every month.
Yeah, I mean, even my father now after that, he goes on a regular basis, get his blood work done and like constant. And I make a point of going every year, and then I have a rule. If after 3 4 days something is persisting, I'll go get checked out because and that's my rule. So I just think it's important.
Well, the body is a wonderful living entity because it will tell you when something isn't right.
Yeah,
The question is, do we listen?
gotcha. Yeah.
that's the
Right?
problem. A
Do
lot of
we
people
listen?
don't.
That's the key because uh I was having this conversation with a gentleman last night. Yeah, so Dr. Vibe, man, how much have you been barbecuing this year? And I said, believe it or not, I've only barbecued once. And he goes, what's going on with you? I says, well, I don't eat red meat anymore.
Yeah, I
Gotcha.
stopped eating
And then
red
we were,
meat.
and he said, I hear what you're saying because when I eat red meat,
Mm.
my stomach says, no, this is not for you. And I listen to it. So,
Gotcha.
and actually, like even up to last night, we were speaking with Ulysses from the Sickle Cell Association of Ontario. So we're talking about health, and we had a few weeks ago we had Anthony Henry from the Walnut Foundation. So this has been very health intense conversations we've been having over the last few weeks. J.G. Mars says the abuse of Henrietta Lacks is another example. If people don't know that name, you need to know that name and do some research on it. I'm not going to get deeper into it, but you should um, look up that name online, whether it's ChatGPT, Googleitis, whatever. Macmillan Group says, as someone who was born with an existing condition has had enough surgeries over my lifetime that required ongoing medical attention. I will say again, it is very disturbing for me as a Black man. Also
Well,
says
interesting.
finding a Black male doctor in Toronto is a major challenge.
Mm.
That is true. I had one in the 80s, now deceased. The next one was Indian. Here in the US, my doctor is Black. And
Got it.
Hayden goes, by the way, generally two groups of people melanated me have challenges with that you have challenges with our police and doctors. So those are two groups of people that he has challenges with. Ryan, you were going to say something.
No. I think Ray was just saying he's very distrusting of, I guess, doctors. But yeah, and it's tough because then that distrust gets carried down because you're not going to encourage your kids to then go see doctors because you know what you've been through. And I guess what Emma is talking about is how do we shift the stereotype of how we perceive doctors and just find better ones. Maybe
Yeah,
we need to encourage more of our kids to become doctors so that the pool is bigger, so that we have more options. Because if there's a lack of family doctors, maybe we should be encouraging more people to become family doctors. So yeah, and then that would increase the trust, and we'd want to go talk to the doctor. But I remember going to see a doctor and like thinking about therapy and them just prescribing pills, and you're
yeah.
just like, yo, I don't want to be on pills. Like, You
And
know,
those are the kind of doctors you just got to keep it moving because
right? Yeah.
like in every profession, there are some that are more diligent, there are some that are more thorough than others. Just like with cops, there are the dirty ones and then there are the not dirty ones. I mean, in every profession, you've got um, lawyers, all of that. So it's about sifting through the minutia and finding a good one. And I have doctor hopped, trust me, because
Dr. Hoft, I like that.
the instant you don't even as much as check my pulse, it's time to move on.
Yeah.
And it is inconvenient. It's discouraging. You say to yourself, "Oh, I'm just gonna go to a holistic medicine person and just I forget about Western medicine and forget about these doctors."
Mm-hmm.
But there are just some things that you need to get done. There are some tests you got to get done. There's potentially surgeries, whatever the case is. So it's like you gotta like do the work just like you have to do if you were looking for a job. You may get rejected, you may not like what's out there, but you got to do it, right? If you want to work, if you want to live, if you want to eat. So it's kind of the same kind of work, and it's unfortunate because there is really a shortage of good doctors.
I just want to get your permission to interrupt again. If people want to call in, don't forget, if you got to take, I'd love to hear from either Ray or Hayton or anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Go to your favorite browser, or you can swipe on the QR code that's in the corner there. It will take you to callme.road.com. And once you get to that page, put in the code capital letters FSP L8L. Make sure you turn on the echo cancellation and put in your name. And it'll say join conversation in green. You hit that. We'd like to get you in live to chat that out. Also, if you want to get in touch with Emma, Emma is universal. So there's Get Public Relations, a website is there, email address, GhanaianGirls@gmail.com. You can also contact her through the Daily Scrum News at thedailyscrumnews.com. And then she's all over YouTube at the African Diaspora News Channel, Emancipation Media, and Emma Ansah Unfiltered. So just wanted to make sure all that stuff, and more comments are coming in on this. Okay, more people are chatting about
Love
this.
it.
So,
I love it. It's an important conversation.
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. The Macmillan Group says white male doctors don't listen to a black man when we speak. It is a boss-employee dynamic.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
Yeah,
With
it
my
is.
black doctor, we have life conversations. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
See? And that just goes to show how you have those doctors that don't give a you know what, and then you have the ones that do, and the ones that come in prejudice. And I there's countless stories I've covered about that as well. I did cover this one story that still stuck with me, where it was a young black man who had gone to the ER because he was in a lot of pain. He was extremely feeling pain and numbness in his extremities, and he was wearing a hoodie. And they immediately said that he's there for drugs. They put him in a psych institution for 3 or 4 days,
Oh my
Whoa.
and
goodness.
it turned out he had a major problem. So when he got out, he ended up coming back to the ER again because it wasn't whatever was going on with him didn't go away, and his mother, while he was unconscious, took his hoodie off and put on a button up shirt because she was afraid that when he went back, even unconscious, they were going to be like, oh, he's OD. Like they literally, before even touching him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's to tell you how even when you're going to the ER and you're like in distress sometimes, depending on how you look, they automatically, oh, you're not really in pain. You just want drugs. So it's very unfortunate, and it's true. It does happen, and that causes a distrust. But I still feel like our health is the most important thing, right? So it's a matter of finding the right physicians, the right care, and also if I go to an ER and that's how you treat me, it's going to be a problem for me. Okay, I'm getting everybody's name. I am pitching a major fit in that
Right.
hospital. Somebody's gonna see me. Somebody is gonna see me. Otherwise, that whole hospital is everybody in the world's gonna know about this hospital. Trust me.
Yes, yes.
Well, it,
Mm.
it's interesting. With Ray saying with my black doctor, we have life conversations. I have a melanin deficient doctor, but he's been the same one I've had for over 25 years. So we have a regime that when he comes, I sit in the office and so the things that I do, first of all, I make sure I go a weekday morning, and I can do that because of flexibility of schedule. And not, I'd say 75% of the time, because he's works in the office with other doctors, when I go there's maybe only one or two people in the area.
Mm.
So strategically, yes. Second of all, we have a regime. I'm nice and calm. The first thing he does when he comes in is take my blood pressure. That's just our ritual now. First thing. And then we get into our other stuff, and we spend time talking about sports. He's a big Maple Leafs fan, so I bring him a pillow. Ryan, you can relate to this. He's also a Miami Dolphins fan. So
All right.
but we have a regime, so we have a good rhythm. And as some people may know, he's the same doctor as my dad. So any hereditary things that my dad has had illness wise, he is preventative on that. We have that trust and really down pat. And and people say, well, you must be not feeling well because you go see him every one. No, I'm taking advantage of it because there may be one day I have to go pay to visit a doctor, like many people in the United States. So I'm taking advantage of it while I can. So I want to be on the prevent instead of on the defense. I want to be ahead of the curve when it comes to that stuff.
And
But I
that's
know
it. If you've got family history as well, you got to look at that.
100%.
And I love, even though your doctor is one of the folks, you've got a quarter century with him, so you have that trust, and he sounds to me like he's thorough, similar
He is.
similar
He
to.
absolutely. If he is forward thinking and preventative, and again, he knows the history that runs, especially on my dad's side.
Yeah.
So he's looking out for those things. So yeah, but we have a good relationship. Let's get back to some more conversations here. Fitness IQ Cam says it's ideal to use both Western and holistic. That's where I am now. Western and
Yeah, I'm not opposed to that either
Mhm.
at all.
you know.
Especially for us women when we get to a certain age and we're going through the transition. You know,
Oh my goodness. I get so many of those conversations these
oh,
days.
Okay, yes.
it is, that can be a whole segment, I promise you.
Actually, and there's a black lady doctor who's I'm trying to schedule in the next few months who's going to come on and talk about that because, as I said, more and more I'm hearing black women talk about that.
Oh, it's a nightmare.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
I'm not opposed to holistic medicine at all, and it's nice to have the combination. And a lot of doctors try to sort of dissuade you from going that route, and I always I always side eye doctors that do that because then it begs to question: is this just about the pharmaceuticals and the money? Why is there a problem with
Ooh.
doing both?
Right. If it benefits the patient,
All right.
Exactly.
you think that'd be
The
the
Miller Group
main
is going
issue?
all into that. I wish he would call. He's going, I don't just trust doctors, Ryan. I just trust white doctors. Because
Okay.
I had a health crisis in 2018 and ended up in the ER. Wow. The doctor who didn't know my medical history wanted to perform emergency surgery. I
Mm.
declined the surgery, signed the waiver, went home, and went to my Indian doctor the next day and asked to be referred to a white surgeon. The history of disregard of white doctors to the black man's health
Mm.
is something I'm not risking my health with. They aren't going to kill me by accident and tell my family sorry. And he also says,
Okay, valid.
and that Emma is the reason why we have that, and that Emma is the reason why we have that level of distrust.
Mm-hmm.
He continues in saying, listen to this, 5% of the doctors in the US are black. I'm thinking that the number is much lower in Canada and limited to only a few cities. So finding the right doctor could present a major challenge.
True.
Senior K,
There's
good morning.
there's
Senior
no
K
denying
says,
that.
good morning, all. I know it can be scary and difficult times, but being proactive is so important. And if I'm not mistaken, Sina's Care, you are either in the medical field or were, but I know that although we have access to healthcare, the wait times for diagnostic tests can be brutal.
Gotcha.
The Macmillan Group says typo that should be referred as to a black surgeon. Okay. And
Mhm.
then Sina's case says when time could be of essence, continued from the previous comment. So a lot of good takes going on. A lot of good
And
takes.
do you know, even there are some black doctors that are not on the up and up as well. Like I've had a bad experience with a black doctor, and I ended up going back to and he was or is a gynecologist. And I had one visit with him, and I was like, oh, heck no.
Oh no. Jeez.
Wow.
So
Well, that's where like having the Black Health Professionals Network ways to curate all the people that are in these industries so that we have options. Because if
I
you
just
want,
came across that
right?
the other day. Somebody
Yeah.
sent it to me and said, oh, you got to do an interview with this woman.
Okay.
And I
Right.
ended up signing up for that
Mhm.
because I am here for it. When I saw that, I was like, this is what we need. This is what we need. I mean, I'm always saying we as Black people in general need our own major institutions to begin with,
Agreed. Yes.
schools, hospitals, those majors, right? And that's one of them. And so when I
Mhm.
saw that online platform, I was like, oh, this is amazing.
Right.
There is also the BPAO, the Black Physicians of Ontario, Physicians Association of Ontario, who
There
I've
we
had
go.
on some of my platforms in the past. So they're a very good. So I will certainly reach out to them because they haven't been around for a while, and I can get them on, and we can
That would
continue
be
this
great.
conversation. Hayden says, "My mother ended up in a long-term care because of her doctor's mistake. Try suing one."
Oh man,
Mm.
that would be
And
tough.
here's a nice point here from the Macmillan Group. I don't think a woman should have a male gyno, but that is a whole other conversation.
Okay.
Well, especially a male gyno that really doesn't give a rat's behind about you, but then when he's with the folks, it's like a whole other doctor. And
God.
that's what I experienced with that doctor. He was mean, he was rude, he was just like I was like, what is happening right now? And
Mhm.
you know when you're in a section and it's just a curtain that separates you so you can hear what's going on in the other room. So there was one of the folks that was in the other room, and he went to see her next, and the way he was like, how are you? And I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, is this the same person?
What just happened here? Like I'm telling you about my plight, and he laughed. I was just like, what's happening here?
Hmm.
So it's hard in general, but I still am of the mindset that you start like try to go with a black doctor, or like this brother was saying, an Indian doctor who gets it.
Hmm.
That's I feel like is the best course for us in our health.
Ryan, when was the last time you were at a doctor?
That was 6 months ago, and I had to do blood work and then do a sleep test. So
Oh, that's another big thing.
Oh,
yeah, was like, I think I was on the edge of having to need a CPAP machine,
And
but
those aren't cheap.
yeah, and
and
not
and they're not
fun at
comfortable
all,
either,
Those are not cheap.
right? But
or
yeah,
comfortable.
the comfort, right? So yeah, that was
Those
like
are
3 months
not
ago. I
cheap.
did
Like,
the
yeah,
test. Yeah,
okay, you have sleep apnea. Okay, like you got to basically empty the piggy bank if to get one.
it's right. Yeah, I don't know how much of that is even covered. So
Okay,
Well,
so
I'm
that's
glad
why
that
I
you
gotta
didn't
go
have.
take my walks. I gotta get away from the edge
get away
for
from the
sure.
monitor and the screens.
Yes,
Fitness IQ Camp says, but what is the percentage of women who are gynos? Good point.
right.
Yeah, I had a really good female Asian gynecologist when I lived in Toronto, and she was amazing.
Gotcha.
So, when it comes to the gynecologist, I'm not particularly picky about their race. It's more like their skill and their level of diligence and stuff like that. Because I don't know that there are many black female gynecologist. I don't know anyway. I haven't researched. My current gynecologist is an Asian man. So
Mm.
yeah, and he's amazing. So
There's so many offshoot conversations we could chat about this. I think there's Black women's health. The what you know what it I love it. What is it like to be a Black doctor?
right.
Right.
Well, I know some that we can recruit.
Yeah, I'd like to know. Here's another thing. How many people have a Black dentist?
I don't.
Gotcha.
Never
Yeah.
have.
I had one for a number of years and he retired. The only one I
Oh.
know of in Toronto, I've never been to his office, is a gentleman named Kenneth Montague.
Mhm.
But other than, I had one, Dr. Eric P. He was Dr. Pierre, but he retired a number of years ago, but very few. But that's a whole other thing about what are the barriers of entry for Blacks into the medical profession.
Well,
Right.
and that's another thing that they're working on because there are a lot of black doctors that come from Africa and stuff, and you see them driving taxi cabs. So
Yep,
I know that the government is trying to implement something where it's a speedier process to get certified because their certifications have to match the requirements of certification in Canada. And that sometimes is the holdup because it's almost like they have to go through the whole process all over again. So
100%. She's
yeah.
in the house. Dr. Tashe is saying good morning, all. Good morning, Dr.
Good
Tashe.
morning.
And Macmillan Group says, as someone who spends extended time in the Caribbean, I prefer to visit a doctor in the Caribbean than some random white MD in Canada or the US. I've had my best healthcare experiences in the Caribbean.
Okay. I
There
gotta
you
test that
go.
out. Make a trip just for get a medical checkup. At least the sun on my face will feel better than getting a checkup here in Canada. And my
Oh,
apologies, I do have to get ready for my 10 o'clock meeting with the
yes,
team.
I know you've got to
Yeah,
jump back, but we will see you on Friday. Have a good rest of the week, sir.
same
Bye,
to you.
Ryan.
Good seeing you, Emma. Later.
Later.
All right, there we go. And so got some more time, got some more comments here. Doctors Hayden says doctors have earned the mistrust of the Black community. They need to address this before we trust them.
And I don't discount that. I myself have been through situations where I've not received the best care. I've not been taken seriously. And even when they do test and then you come back and you're like, I'm still feeling a certain type of way, sometimes they even get mad at me and be like, oh,
You're kidding me.
oh yeah, I went through that with a gastroenterologist, and he was actually South Asian, and he's one of the best in the region I live in. So I was referred to him, and he was really quick to get me an appointment because sometimes you can wait months for certain procedures, right? And he was just the most unkind person. And you're already going through a lot, and you have so much anxiety about somebody putting a whole thing through your throat and into your stomach, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but I was still feeling a certain type of way. So I went back, and he was like, well, I don't know what else to tell you. That's between you and your therapist. It's like, wow. So
Wow.
he was suggesting it's an anxiety thing that you're going through because I didn't see anything in your stomach. And it's like, wow, so that's what we're doing. So again, once again, I went back to my doctor and I said, I don't want anything to do with this man. I want another gastroenterologist. So he did send me to another one who was more thorough. And he was not black, but he was super thorough. He went and he had me do a lactose test. He had me do a
Whoa.
bunch of tests. And then it turned out that my major issue was is I was lactose intolerant. And so every time I had cheese or ice cream or whatever, I would feel this way. And so he said, I think that's your biggest problem. And here are all the symptoms that people don't know about when you're lactose intolerant. And it's not just the upset stomach and the passing of gas and things like that happens. There are other things that happen in your body because your gut is the central thing, and it
Core.
affects all parts of your health. You don't even realize, oh, my gut can affect what's going on here and there and everywhere. So once we found that out and eliminated lactose or dairy from my diet, what a huge difference it made. So it
100%.
that's my whole point, is that, it's about being persistent with your health. So if you don't like what you're hearing, and your body is still telling you something, and it's no longer a whisper, go somewhere else.
All right, and the Morning Vibe family, the comments are coming in strong, so keep it coming. Really love it. The Walamala says, had Dr. Montague as well, instantly knew it was him when you said he retired. No, I was saying my dentist, Dr. Eric Pierre, he retired many years ago. I don't know if Dr. Montague is still practicing, because there were only two black dentists I knew for many years that were practicing in the Toronto area, and it was Dr. Pierre and Dr. Montague. Dr. Pierre retired a number of years ago. I don't know if Dr. Montague is still practicing dentistry. The Macmillan Group says the barrier is cha-ching, money. Getting through med school is the easiest part. The cost of setting up a practice can be astronomical. Banks have financing program for medical pros many blacks can't qualify for. There you go. There you go. Uh, Hayden says, when you sit with a black doctor in the Caribbean, there's an easy comfort that you rarely find here. Okay. Fitness IQ Cam says, yeah, I was told when I migraines to document what happens when I ate. Yeah, and I think that's another thing. Document, again, the body tells you when it's treating right and not treating right. And we got to pay attention to that. We have
Yeah.
to pay attention. Like, I know what foods don't settle well with me. And I had one of them a
Same.
few days ago, and it just didn't settle well with me. And it's saying, by saying, why are you doing that, Dr. Vibe? Behave yourself.
And
The
it's
Macmillan
true. I
Group,
mean, even my doctor had me chart, like, what did you eat and how did it make you feel when you ate this thing? Because it's not a cookie cutter thing. Not like, I have acid reflux. That's another thing that I discovered I had later on in life. And again, fortunately, had good doctors that, you tell them the symptoms. They're like, okay, let's go take this test. Let's go arrange for this. And, you chart. So because not everybody gut who has acid reflux, there are some things they can eat that doesn't trigger, and there's some things I eat that doesn't trigger, and there's some things they eat that does, and there's some stuff that I eat that doesn't. So it's like you have to be able to document, what did you eat when you had that thing, so as you go through, I know I can't have onions, garlic, tomatoes. Like, I know that
wow.
I can't have like pepper. So I had to find more creative ways to cook so it's still tasty, because I grew up, I'm African. Okay. Like, I need my spice, right? So I had to learn, when your doctor gives you two options, it's like you either be on medicine for the rest of your life, or you change the way you're eating now so you don't have to be on medicine for the rest of your life, with come with a bunch of side effects. So I was like, yeah, I will take what's behind door number one for 300, right? So it's like I had to, stop that. So it's about finding the right doctor and doing your own diligence as well.
Yes, you have to be proactive, not
Yep.
reactive,
Yep.
right? Just to refresh people, if you want to call in, please go to callme.road.com. Use the code FSPL8L, put in your name, and hit the green join conversation. Would love to. A lot of people giving a lot of stuff great through the console. I'd like to get your verbal input if
Yeah,
you're up to
call
it.
in. Let's
Call
chat.
in. We'd love to get you to call in. Let's see what else we got here. The Macmillan Group says many banks offer a quarter of million credit line upon graduation, which is credit score driven. Because on average black credit scores are too low, they are unable to qualify for the credit facility. There you go.
See, there's always this caveat, there's this but. So
Money
yeah, the
comes back.
almighty dollar.
Come back to the finances. Uh, Macmillan Group again says, so true, Hayden. It is like a social visit, and you can't discount that. I have that same experience here in the U.S. with my black doctor. So that relationship it's all about relationships and how comfortable you are.
Yeah, for sure.
It is so important about that. And if you don't feel good with your doctor, fire him.
That's it. Fire him. And it is inconvenience to, to keep trying. And then you may call so many, and they'll be like, sorry, they're not accepting new patients. But there are more and more doctors that are coming in. I know in the region I live in, we have more foreign doctors than the folks. We got doctors here from India, we got doctors from Africa, we got doctors from Asia. They're just all coming in, right? So fortunately, there's a lot of options, and that's in the Niagara region. So, but again, I was lucky that this new clinic opened up, and it's 4 Nigerian doctors, and they're all amazing. And they're
That is
still
a
accepting
blessing.
new patients, but it's a long way to come. But A, for your health,
Okay, so I'm just taking a quick look at something. Again, the states have more information than we do here, but they're saying that 13% of all doctors in America are black.
that's a nice, way better percentage than here.
Oh, that's the thing, right?
Yeah. Well, I know in the Niagara region, a lot of people will pay and go across the border to a doctor because A, the wait sometimes for stuff, and then also they want a
Oh,
black.
no, let me correct that. Sorry to interrupt. Black America make up 13% of the population in the US, but only 5% of physicians. So it's 5%
Oh,
here.
okay. Yeah. That makes more sense, I think. Yeah.
5%.
I
So,
wonder, I don't know if they go through the same process like they do here, where, you've got to get that recertification and stuff, and it's like hurdles and it's a lot of money. So I'm not sure if that's why.
let's
But
fitness.
population wise, they are larger.
Yeah.
So
So,
5% is still better than here.
so Fitness IQ Ken says, let's just say the last time I knew someone ignored the doctor, they ended up in a hospital.
That's my whole point.
Hmm? Macmillan Group says black men don't confide with folks we don't trust. And that goes for
Trust.
any
Trust seems to
professional.
be the word of the day. It's a trust issue. So that's the biggest issue, it sounds like.
So, to the earlier comment, it is just a very complex conversation than just, quote, go to the doctor, unquote.
I am not suggesting that it's that simple. I'm just saying we have to decide what's more important to us: our health, preventative measures, and taking the time to find a doctor that you can trust. You know,
So, Fitness IQ Camp says, so as Ryan mentioned before, having the discipline to do a checkup is important and not avoiding specialty doctors.
yeah,
And Macmillan Group says, yes, Emma, the process is the same.
yeah.
So, man, the people, yeah, family, you're coming in strong today with the
I
comments.
love it.
Yes, Mr. McMillan, though, I want you to call, man. That's what I want. I want to hear your voice.
Mr. McMillan is the most vocal. He wins the prize for
Well,
the
they
most
definitely on
the most
in regards
engagement.
to, definitely he's top in regards to comments, especially on the YouTube channel today. I'm just keeping watch. He is fire all
Yeah.
the time. But definitely, the whole health thing is very important. Actually, just to go back, there were some comments at the beginning that weren't aligned where we were chatting about. I think we'll bring them back up now because there was something about film, and I know Emma loves her film and
Oh my
media
gosh.
stuff. Oh, so JG Mars had a question saying, "Hmm, is there a Black Canadian Hollywood scene where you are, like film directors, writers, etc.?"
Well, I wouldn't say there's a scene, but there are a lot of black filmmakers and actors in Canada and definitely in Ontario that are killing it. But you know what the problem is? Pull up a chair. The problem is that there is more of a challenge for black filmmakers and creators to get funding for their projects. So that was one of the things that I have talked to some filmmakers about already. So I have an interview that's going to be coming out on the 30th that I did, and then even yesterday on the set meeting this amazing crew, and this is an all black film production. The actors, the director, the writer, the screenwriters, beautiful work, so stay tuned for that. But is there an actual black Hollywood? I guess you can say that. It's just a lot of people don't know about it. But look up Troy Crossfield House Productions. There's Panic Button Films. And then there's Blay Armin, who's also doing stuff. So they're
Another gentleman, Tristan Barracks, is doing a lot of stuff. He has a documentary about fathers that's been winning a lot of awards at a lot of different
there you
film
go.
festivals globally.
Yeah, there's a Black Hollywood. Then there's Real World Festival, which is run by Tanya Lee Williams, and then we have the Toronto Pan African Film Festival that's run by my girl Lori Beezer. So there are people doing the thing. It's just not getting that acclaim that we deserve.
There are
You know?
people, well, they're getting acclaim, it's just they're not getting to the next level. There a lot
Yeah,
of people doing stuff. It's just they just need to get to that next level.
and that's where the they deserve part comes. That they definitely deserve their flowers and to be highly regarded and recognized. But Canada in general, I find when it comes to the arts, they don't really support Black people. Musicians as well, they lump under that category. There are so many amazing Black talented musicians here in Canada, and you only hear about the ones that broke out, like Deborah Cox or Drake or The Weeknd or Maestro and Julie Black. Like you only hear about a certain pocket, but there's so many really amazing musicians. Same goes in the film industry.
Back to our health conversation. Hayden Morrison says it was J.D. Rockefeller and Andrew Carnegie started the medical industry that we're all victims of. It's a for-profit system. And it's interesting you mentioned that because one of the commentators I listen to on a somewhat regular basis says, so when you go into a store, a lot of the food in there is not good for your health. And then at the back of the store, you can go get medication to remedy these bad foods that are being pitched to many of us.
Yeah.
You know, and Fitness IQ Cam and Capitalist, how did you get here? Nobody's supposed to be here.
Deborah
Sorry, I have
Cox.
to say it.
That's right. I think it was that song or one of them that really transitioned her out and over to the United States. But even with that, there's she's back and forth. It's still the acclaim that
Is
is
that Deborah
deserved.
Cox?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw something online. She's released her new a wine.
Yeah, a lot of them, and even like for example, Maestro Fresh West. You know what he's called now? Maestro Chef West,
Oh,
and he lives out west, and he's in the chef industry now.
okay.
So you got to have something to fall back for as a
Yeah.
Canadian person in the arts. Otherwise, whew.
Interesting you mentioned that. That here's a fact that many people may or may not know, and you may only be of a certain age. Well, at one time, many years ago, Maestro Fresh West used to date Marcy Ian.
I heard about that.
Yep.
I heard
So
about
some people may not know who Maestro Fresh West is. Some people may or may not know Marcy Ian, but Marcy Ian was former federal politician, former cabinet minister in the Canadian government.
who
And
got
before that,
abruptly let go.
pardon me?
Who got abruptly let go.
Another conversation topic. And
Yeah.
before that, she was a media personality on one of Canada's major morning news programs for many years. I remember when she put her foot into politics, and I told Ryan, you watch. She's gonna do big things because one, Black woman. Second of all, women. Second of all, knows how to handle the media,
Mm-hmm.
and she had a fairly good career in the media. Gotta see if we can reach out to have her on. Been many years, but many years ago, I remember running into her, and she was just starting her media journey, and she was really depressed, saying, "Oh man, I don't know if I have to go to the States, this and that." I said, "Marcy, if you really want this, you just gotta go for it and stick to it." And every time she sees me, she says, "Dr. Vibe, I never forget your conversation that you had with me many years ago."
Yeah,
Wonderful
you
lady,
gotta
Marcine.
keep grinding. It is. It's
Yeah, it's a
consistency.
grind.
And don't pay attention to the negative comments. Don't pay attention to the naysayers. Don't pay attention to, oh, I only got this much views. Just keep going. Keep going.
So look at the Wallamala. I love regular family in the house. Could it be Black doctors don't get enough referrals? My family member was referred to a doctor through her family physician, but he was fully booked for months. The Black doctor's name was not on the list. It was it was not until she took the practice approach of mentioning his name. Then she got referred to him much at a much sooner date. I would agree with that.
Yeah, I don't doubt that either. That's why I'm glad for these platforms now that are specifically around a good listing of Black doctors.
I would
And
agree with that. Always referral is all, a good thing. Now, just remember now, make sure if you're referring someone to somebody, remember it's your neck on the line if it doesn't work out well. Just remember that. And you may want to also, if the person you're referring them to, you may want to ask them ahead of time, hey, can I refer so before just having them? Or what I do is if that situation exists, I will always bring myself and the two parties together for the first conversation. And then
yeah,
after that, they do their thing. But in the medical stuff, absolutely. I think that it's a challenging thing. And you said, well, proactive. Okay, yeah, you got to be proactive with your health. Like,
agree.
have to be that. And I know, and I would also say, if you're researching online, be careful where you're getting your sources from,
Yeah.
your information from.
And to those who really want to stick with a Black doctor, like I said, we have these platforms now. So
Yes,
go on there and find you one. And again, if that Black doctor, because like I said earlier, I've been to some Black doctors, and you just keep it moving. Find the right one for you. Find the right one for you. Sometimes, I always say, skin folk isn't always kinfolk.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Or as I'm paraphrasing something Dr. George Fraser says, if you can't chill with them, don't build with them.
That's it. That's it. So, I agree that I think, ideally a Black doctor would understand
Asking,
your DNA, but you, Dr. Vibe, have had the same doctor for 25 years that you trust. I've had doctors that weren't Black that I had my best doctor wasn't Black, but he ended up retiring because he was over 80, and he's like, I gotta go.
I got, yeah,
Well,
exactly.
and he
And
was the best doctor. And
it's interesting you mentioned that because a few months ago I had a really bad, I had a sinus infection. And, I tried to fight it off for a few days. Let me go to this walk-in clinic that's close to me. And the gentleman I saw was an African. I loved the way he treated me to the point saying, you know what? I said, if I ever think about changing doctors, he would be. I just like the way he treated him. Black doctor. He asked me a lot of questions. I said, "Oh, you're really proactive. You know yourself and all that." I just like the way he treated me, and I said, "Man, should I make the switch? Should I make the switch?" It was sort of like ping ponging in my head because I had such a positive experience working with him.
well, he can be that doctor that's a backup if,
Oh, definitely,
right?
100%. Like
Yeah.
now, if because usually to get an appointment with my doctor, you're looking a month out minimum.
You see that? See, and similar, that was my experience with the doctor I have now, is that, and for me, that's always the seller for me, is if I go to this doctor and I say, well, I've been having this, I don't know, this lower abdominal cramping. I'm just using that as an example. And they immediately just say, oh, it's probably a urine infection. And did you even text my urine yet? You know what I mean? It's like, how do you know that? So, but when my doctor will literally, like you said, ask all the questions,
Oh yeah.
give me that little tub, whatever that little thing, go do your thing. They test it right there on the spot. And like you said, before you even see the doctor, the first thing they do is that the nurse takes you in and checks your blood pressure. All of that information is there for the doctor before he even calls you. But then when you sit with him, he even will bring a diagram and then show me the anatomy.
Yes. My
You know what
doctor
I'm
does
saying?
that too.
That's when I know, okay, this doctor is taking the time to say, here's why I think this might be it. But even though I think this might be it, I'm still going to give you this sheet, this requisition, go get these scans done, tests done, this
Yeah.
done, and I'll see you in a couple of days. That is a doctor to me.
Yeah. My doctor is the same thing. Like if he'll show me. Like if there's something going on with somebody, he'll show me diagrams, this, that, the other thing.
Yes.
Go, now this is good. But and also too, if I do need to see, like he does walk-ins on Saturday mornings, but you got to come. Like what you have to do is get there early at 6 o'clock and put your name on the list, and then wait for them to
Register
call.
yourself. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, I once a month, like if I wanted to see him sooner, I probably could. Like in that case, when I went and saw this at the walk-in clinic doctor, my doctor was fully booked. So I said, "Oh, let me just go to the walk-in." I said, "Okay, got my backup." And he is, I'm pretty sure, much younger than my current doctor. So what I'm going to do I'm going to go to that walk-in clinic the next week or so and get his contact information.
Yeah, I mean, when you have that first impression with a doctor, it's like
Yeah,
you're gonna be it because
yeah,
it's
I'm going to get his
so hard to
contact
come by.
information.
Yeah, yeah,
Gonna get his contact information, keep him as references, because if and when my long term doctor says, I'm not practicing more, I don't have to. I know
exactly.
who I'm looking for as a backup. That is good. But yeah, experiences, and also too, many of us have had relatives, especially Caribbean women, who have been nurses. So that can be reference also. I
Oh yeah, yeah,
we have to use that knowledge also in regards to
absolutely.
dealing with the system.
And there's nothing wrong with us asking. Like I ask a lot of questions.
You
I
better.
I ask my doctor a lot, and the good thing is he's willing to sit there and answer them. And that's the other reason I know, okay, this is a good doctor because I'm like, to me there's no dumb question because I'm not a doctor. So if you're telling me blah 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 and you're talking in doctor talk, I'm going to ask some questions. Why do you think that is? Why does that happen? What does that mean? What you just you got to ask the questions, and then you got to decide, just like, I don't know, a job interview or something. If you go for an interview, you can also ask questions as well because it's not only the interviewer interviewing you, you also get to interview them to see if it's even the right fit for you, the right job for you. Same goes for doctors. I ask so many questions. I'm annoying, but I it helps me, and I'm able to tap in with my body a bit better. So I think it's important. And again, it is not easy to find that right doctor. It's not easy to trust a doctor based on experiences that you see happening all the time with our community. But it's about taking that time. And it took me a long time to find this doctor. It did. So
It's an investment, not an expense.
yep. And it sounds to me like the operative word on this session here is trust or
Yeah.
lack thereof.
I would say trust in relationship,
Yeah.
and
So how do we get over that hurdle?
you know, and I just for people who are watching right now, just out of curiosity, if you're willing to share, when was the last time you visited a doctor?
Yeah.
I'd just be curious to know, like, when was the last time? Me was in the last 2 weeks. Actually, in the last week. When was the
Same.
last time you visit? And I guess the second part of that question, was it just for a regular checkup or was it for a concern?
See, so for me, mine was just a few weeks ago, and I had been going every month like you. And the reason why I started going is because back in I would say towards the last quarter of last year, I've always had optimal blood pressure, like optimal. And I went to the doctor one day and they were like 135. I was like, what? Like, where did that happen? Right. So then that's when we started being like, okay, we need to keep an eye on this.
Yeah.
So, my doctor said to me, well, it's only slightly elevated. It's not, you're not like over the top yet, but here's what you can do: start walking more, start exercising more, drink
Mhm.
more water, did blood work. And it turns out,
You know what? That is, if there's one thing for Black men and those who love them, if I want you to take away from this conversation, drink lots of water.
yes,
If there's
super important.
anything, if there's anything,
Super important.
drink lots of water.
Lot. I try to get in at least 8 glasses a day. And my thing was when he said to me, here's what you can do to bring it down, because I was an athlete my whole life, right? So he said, I think,
Okay.
yeah, I was a track runner.
Okay.
So
Oh, I was gonna say Emma Williams, but okay. All right.
yeah, so he was like, that has sustained you. And that's why you're this age and you are now only just slightly. So here's what you have to do. Well, I was like, say less. For me, I'm just going to do that. So I started walking briskly. And I have a dog. So I would get out with her more than once a day. And I was drinking water on a regular basis. And then I also researched on from a holistic side, or just like things that you can intake to help. And hibiscus tea was at the top of the list. So I have hibiscus tea every day. I'm doing all the things because I don't want to my parents, my parents' parents, my parents' parents' parents, high blood pressure is the main thing,
Yeah.
right? So I was like, I don't want that, right? So when I start seeing the slightly this and slightly that, to me, that is a whisper that you can
Yeah.
work on.
I agree. I asked my doctor a question. So Fitness IQ Camp says July is the last time she was at the doctor for a shoulder injury. Just out of curiosity, how do you feel you were treated by the medical community? She also says, I kind of do. Twice or three times a year, sometimes the same time as my dad or as my grandma. So she goes at least twice a year for checkups. Walamala says, better the doctor's annoyed with your constant questions than your family annoyed with a funeral expense.
Thank you. Ding, ding, ding. Thank you.
All right.
Exactly.
Finance IQ Cam says, the Walamala, and she goes, KMT. That's a bar there, the Walamala. That's a bar. That's a bar there, absolutely. And
But do you know what? Because I was going every month, and the last week of every month, they send me text messages every day, and I would check my blood pressure. I have a machine here, and I would input the numbers, and then I would go see him, and then he would take an average. Now I'm back to optimal. So I did all those things, and I continue to do those things. So that is the importance of doing these, annual
yeah, very
physicals and stuff, because I wouldn't have known that my blood pressure was elevated had I not gone. And now it's not. So, it's super important.
absolutely. I also want to add to that, and people may get upset at me at this, but I don't mind. If you're not looking after your health, I think it's a little bit of selfishness also, because there's probably at least one other person in the world that's at least counting or counts on you, even if it's periodically. And yes, we are in a capitalistic society that is about me first. Remember, our heritage is Afrocentric. We think about the village first.
Yeah.
So don't rob the world and people of the gifts that you have to offer by not looking into your health. Fitness IQ goes, next question. Fitness IQ, why don't you come on and chat with us? She goes, I was highly frustrated with the shoulder industry. They told me just take Tylenol.
You
But it,
see? Because
It was
black
just a
people can
walk,
take some
but it
pain.
was just a walk-in clinic, not my family doctor. But your family doctor said different. Fitness IQ Cam, talk. Come on, call in. Want to chat to you about that. But what do
But
you have
see,
to say
there's a
about that,
prime
Emma?
example. Just take Tylenol, you'll be all right. Black people have thick skin.
Yeah, that you know, yeah, just take Tylenol, be fine. No, I don't think that works for a shoulder injury.
See, now a thorough doctor would be like, we're going to send you for some x-rays and ultrasounds to make sure that there isn't a break there or no ligament tears or what have you. And then we take it from there. Then we know what we're working with. So it turns out it's a sprain or whatever. Okay, then you wear a splint or you don't wear a splint or maybe you need surgery. So to me, a doctor who just says just take Tylenol, it's time to move on. Like, it's time to move on to another
Uh,
doctor, because I would never accept that as an answer.
well, she said with the response of Tylenol was from a walk-in clinic. So, but
And
then
that's
what?
the thing with some walk-in clinics. They don't have time. They got 50 people waiting in the room, so you're lucky if you get 3 minutes of their time. So they don't even really take the time, right?
And you have, she says that was after the X-ray and ultrasound. So was that take the Tylenol after your X-ray and ultrasound? I'm a little bit not clear.
Yeah, did they discover that it was nothing and that just take that for the pain, then that's different. Yeah.
I not 100% clear on the order of events, but yes, it can be concerning. And I'm encouraging you to call in because I know you've called in before, so you're not foreign to it. Would love to hear the full experience if you're up to it. Let me just make sure everything's ready to go there. Yes, it is ready to go there. If you want to call in and share some of your journey with your shoulder. But yeah, the health. But yeah, I think for definitely for black men and those who love them, drink water, and it's bigger than you.
Yeah. And I know sometimes, I even know for me, I don't, I have a thing about public washrooms. So if I'm out and I know I'm going to be out for some
Oh,
time, and my doctor told me you got to stop that. And you know why he said that? Because he looked at my blood work 6 months ago to just a few months, like last month, and he said, I can tell like your kidney numbers, they're still good, but he saw the drop. And he says, because you are not drinking enough water. You see, this
yes.
is what I'm saying when you have a good doctor. And I said, you know what, you're right. And it's because the last few months I've been out a lot and I don't like going to public washrooms. He's like, well, you're going to have to start liking it because you need to drink water and you can't, like, you have to drink water. So I'm like, I guess I do, so
I would also put it out there. This is just a suggestion. If you are working with your doctor and if they prescribe stuff to you, if I get a little weary if you have to ask what are the potential side effects. I like the doctor to say the pros and cons up front instead of you having to ask.
and do you know sometimes the pharmacist tells you more than your doctor does about the medicines. I know for me, and that's the other thing, a good pharmacist will tell you. Like, I remember a pharmacist when I used to live in Toronto, and she would always say to me, don't take this. And she'd tell me why. And then the doctors would get pissed at her and be like, don't be telling patients you're not a doctor. But she also knows what's in those things. So you're right. It's very important for the doctor to say, here are the potential side effects, but and here's the percentage of how many people are affected in this way. But here's the importance of taking it because, the alternative is X, so that you have a better idea. And ultimately, it's always our decision, right? So it's at least you have a balanced, sort of account of what can happen and what can't happen if you decide to take it or you don't. So
So Fitness IQ Cam says, after I visited the walk-in, they provided an X-ray and ultrasound. Okay, and they noticed it was an inflammation and collection of fluid. So okay. And the Wallamala says, walk-ins is like the fast food of doctors. They try to get as many people in and out as quickly as possible, but get your order diagnosis wrong in the process.
Yeah, but sometimes you have no choice when you can't, like you said, sometimes your doctor is months out, right? So, and you need to see one. So,
Well, the
it's
last time I went to a walking clinic, I was pleasantly happy because I went first thing in the morning. There was only one patient ahead of me. It was dead. Now that was in the summertime. I'm probably a little bit different now, maybe, but it was
people
it
are
was,
outside. People are outside in the summer. Yeah.
and
It's
that
what's
was
where I hate going is the ER. Oh my gosh. Like
no. Well, that hope does now. Here's the thing: does anyone have any ER stories? Because like last night having Ulysses on, and this is a whole other thing too, that he basically was born with sickle cell.
wow. Then
So
you can get really
when he
sick.
goes into an emergency and they say, "Are you taking any drugs?" And I think what's the drug that's caused a lot of death in America? And they're trying to really I had it. I was thinking about it earlier
Fentanyl?
on. Pardon me?
Fentanyl?
Yes, he has to take that. So when he's telling people they were saying, "Oh, what drug you're taking?" Fentanyl, go, "Whoa!" And plus, being a black man, so much a lot of people.
In the
Know what? We
States,
have
they
to bring.
definitely
We're gonna have to
prescribe.
bring. Gonna have to bring him on the morning vibe because there were people saw, but the challenges that he is facing and the sickle cell community, which is majority of people who look like us, is a whole other conversation. I know most people like us have no idea. What's sickle cell? We may know what it is, but then the challenges that come along with it is a whole.
You get sick.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, even last night he was not operating at 100%. I could tell. I've had him on on the show before, and he said, "Well, I'm not doing that great." And I go, "Uh oh," but he stuck it out. But he constantly lives with pain,
Oh, I hate that.
right? So Fitness IQ Cam says, "Yes, the Walla Mala, but I couldn't book with my family doctor with this injury. It was unbearable. You couldn't book?
See, and that's the thing. Sometimes you can't even get in to see your family doctor, so you have no choice. It's either the ER where you wait, and I don't know how it is in Toronto, but here you can go online to see what the wait times are. And so there's like four hospitals in this region, and then there's like urgent care centers. So you can literally go online and it'll tell you how many people are waiting, how many people are being treated, and what the average time is. So you can pick. It's like, okay, this one's 2 hours, I'll go there. There's only four people waiting. So I don't know if you have that in Toronto, but
Interesting.
here you
I
do.
I have not seen that service for Greater Toronto Area hospitals, but because after this show, I'm going to check it out and see if that's a good thing and what the
It
wait time
is.
is.
It really is because then okay, mind you, it can say there's two people in the waiting room and only four people being treated, but by the time you get there, there's like 10 people. And
True.
then we don't factor in if ambulances come in, then you're like at the bottom again. Like, so you could end up being there for 8 hours in the end, but at least you have an idea of what you're working with. So if
Right.
it says a 5 hours, I'm not going there because 5 hours could be 10 by the time I get there. So, it's a good thing to have so you can gauge where you'll go and how important it really is. Do I really want to sit there for 12 hours? So
So C Nurse K says I was on a call. Yes, I am a nurse in acute care. So she's on the front line. Says pharmacists are highly underrated. They are my go-to.
see,
Highly educated. Also, brand name versus generic medicines can
yep.
make a huge difference. Yes.
And
Yes.
and if you have a good pharmacist, I know here as soon as we get our medicine, they immediately take you to a section for a consult. So you don't even leave until you have the consult with the pharmacist. And I ask a bunch of questions and he is so thorough and good and he will take the time and answer those questions. I'm telling you, pharmacists are underrated. You got to
Yeah.
think about it. They're the ones putting this medicine together. They know. They know a lot more than we think they do.
Yeah, the pharmacists I've been going to for years, they're very good. They always
Yeah.
explain me the pros and cons, and there are times
Yeah,
they tell me additional things that my doctor did not tell me.
exactly. Exactly. And a lot of them get in trouble for saying stuff. But,
The
if they
truth
care,
hurts.
they're going to tell you. And I
All
appreciate
right. Fitness IQ Cam says, I don't have an ER story, but when I was with a family member in ER, it took hours, she puts in capital letters, to get a bed. And she
Oh
said,
yes.
when I say I couldn't book, I know how long it takes to get an appointment. And then C Nurse K, sharing from the front line, says the government needs to do a better job providing education regarding the most appropriate place depending on the health issue. Walk-in versus urgent care versus ER.
Agreed.
And Fitness IQ says the ER story, it took 5 hours to get into the ICU.
Yep. Yep. It's not a joke, the ER. And then they're saying there's a shortage of nurses and doctors and what have you. And it's like, whose fault is that? There are doctors that are coming from all over,
Who want to
but they
practice?
have to go through this rigorous process.
Oh, oh boy. Oh my goodness. The health, 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 health. Health, 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 health.
Health is wealth.
100%. 100%. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Well, I think we are going to shut it down for the conversation today. I
Yes.
want to say, as always, oh, we got another comment. Well, we're not shutting it down because there's still comments. Here we go. Senior's K says, especially at night, there is skeletal staff depending on where you go. That is true.
Very true. You could have one ER doctor working.
That is true. That is very true. Good point to bring up. Finance IQ says, yes, there's a shortage of nurses is definitely an issue. I speak to my nurse friends and the stories are like, wow, yeah.
There's definitely a shortage. There is.
The Wallama says, ER, you're lucky to even get admitted.
Yep.
Family's saying it.
That's why for me, it's like, I just hope and pray that I just don't have to be there because it's, it's a lot.
It is. It is. The last time I had to be in emergency, it's a long, long time ago. I actually injured myself. I tore knee ligaments in my knee on a Sunday night playing basketball a long time ago. But since then, no. But
And
I hear many horror stories.
And I feel like the fact that you go to your doctor every month prevents you from having to be in the ER.
I think that's part of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, like yourself, when I was younger, I was very active physical fitness wise, and I still do spin cycling at least once or twice a week. So I do keep active.
Yeah. It's important.
So
there's a saying that once you get to a certain age, it's move it or lose it.
Oh yeah. And I add on to that, these days for many people, it's more pain. They're more concerned about keeping what they have than gaining more.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is that. All right. That's it for today. So we always have to say thank you, Emma, as always, for hanging out with us.
I love coming and hanging out. It's always
and for those, and I was hanging with Emma on Saturday evening. So go to Emma Ansah Unfiltered. Check out that conversation.
And potentially this evening, right?
I can't make it this evening, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
Can't make it this evening, but you're gonna see Emma here, myself over there. We're gonna show what true collaboration between Black Queen and a Black guy, because I'm just a guy, looks like, and we're going to enjoy more and more conversation. The whole cotton thing is Serena Williams and cotton. Oh boy, go check out the conversation. That's all I'm gonna say. Go check it. Just go check it out. It was quite a good one. Dr. Tachi is saying, Dr. Tachi, we got to get you hanging out with all three of us. It hasn't happened yet. Got to get Dr. Tachi in also. But yeah, the whole Serena Williams and cotton, as I said, symbolism, not substance. That's all I had to say.
Correct. Agree.
Symbolism, not. There was more important things she could have chatted about. Oh, she goes, sure. So the next time, okay, Dr. Tachi. So the next time Emma and I are getting together, whether it's on this platform, because she is on the last Monday of each month, but I have a feeling she'll be on. We've already chatted enough offline. If there are things that come up and we want to chat about it, we're just going to make it happen as close to in real time. So we will make sure to keep you informed. Dr. Tachi, and you'll have myself with Emma Ansah and Dr. Tachi. Uh, that'll be wild in a good way.
Yeah,
I'll just sit back and take notes. I'll
let's do
just
it.
take
Let's
notes.
do it. Let's do it.
Just make it happen. All right. So a few things. So let's just do some review. So many ways to get in touch with Emma. Getpublicrelations.com, GhanaianGirls at gmail.com, the Daily Scrum News, the dailyscrumnews.com, which a week from today, Donovan for the Daily Scrum News will be with us. And
Nice.
also, she's very YouTubian. Different platforms, African Diaspora News Channel, Emancipation Media, and Emma Ansah Unfiltered, where you can catch out her conversation that we had last Saturday about Serena Williams and cotton. Would love to hear your feedback on that, folks. That would be very, very cool. Mr. Ryan Knight is at ryanoneilknight.com. That's Knight with a KN, not an N. Also LinkedIn, Ryan Oneil Knight. Instagram at ryan.knight99. Email, work with me, ryanoneilknight.com. I make it real and easy. Anything contact-wise, etc., you can get a hold of me at taplink.cc/the Dr. Vibe Show. All the stuff, even if you need to email me, is all there. Go on to that link. What else we're going to say? And also subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. Like the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Substackian. What's up for the rest of the week, Emma?
It's filming. A lot of filming. A lot of news to cover. So
Never
that's
stops.
my week, and then I'm gonna do this live stream this evening on this false prophet that had predicted that the rapture was gonna happen, and we're still here. So we're gonna talk about that this evening.
How long are you going to be on for again?
Probably an hour and change.
Uh,
I have a feeling this one is just based on the promo. It looks like it's gonna be. It looks like it's gonna be a conversation.
I'm sort of wavering now. If I come on, I could only come on for half an hour though.
That's cool.
Okay, let me touch base later on in the day, just see how everything looks. I'm feeling that I should jump on and kid on for a few minutes. Also, you can watch replays of this show on the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Afro Caribbean Business Network on YouTube, and the Ryan Oneil Knight on YouTube. We got one more last comment. Oh, she's going, where can you find the live stream of the conversation we did last Saturday? It's on Emma Ansah Unfiltered, is it not?
Yes, Emma Ansah Unfiltered, and it's in the live section. So you click on the live, there it is, and it's a beautiful picture of Serena Williams surrounded by cotton. Can't miss it.
Yes. So we did that last
And it's
Saturday.
trending. It's trending. The views are up, and
Are you kidding?
oh yeah,
Yeah. It's Emma's platform. She goes, yes, on YouTube. Yes, on YouTube.
YouTube.
Actually, you know what I'm going to do right now? I'm actually going to put the link in the chat. I'm going to put the link in the chat for you, Dr. Tashe.
Yeah, and then if you have time, join us tonight when we talk about these false prophets and the importance of, the importance of not falling for this nonsense.
All right, so I'm going to put the link for the conversation about, okay, let me put the link first and then the title so you get everything in. All right, and then we're going to exit stage. Let's exit out. I'm not going to say stage left because that's what Dr. Tachi says. Oh, you'll be here? You'll be there tonight. Oh, so Dr. Tachi, do you want to join us?
That would be great.
If you want to join us, it's on at 7:00. I could send you the link and
send the link. If you want to join us, you're more than welcome. It's a great, really important conversation to have.
Okay, so a few things. I've just shared the link for the replay of Serena Williams dragged for calling out New York City hotels cotton plant decor. And then she says, Dr. says, I'll be there tonight.
Nice.
And also C Nurse K says, I just subscribed to your channel, Emma. I will
Thank you. We're gonna have way more
All right.
conversation.
So Dr. Chachi says, okay, sure. So Dr. Chachi, myself, and Emma are going to be chatting about this site. I'll leave it on for about half an hour. They're going to go in, and that's going to be fire.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. Hey, if Dr. Tachi, if you want to send me your picture, we'll put you on the thumbnail.
I will send you that. I'll send
Please.
you. In the next hour, I'll send you her headshot.
Nice, and I'll alter it, and we'll put you on as a co-host as well. And let's have this conversation, please.
Well, the wonderful thing is, both you and Dr. Tachi are of African.
That's right.
Descent.
Hey, my African sister.
Look at this, another subscriber.
Yeah.
I just subscribed too. So
thank you.
This is good. This is good. Oh, tonight's gonna be fire now.
It's gonna be fun. Let's go.
This is good. All right. But we do have to get rest. And actually, I've got a number of things I have to do. Emma's got a number of things she has to do.
4/7. Yep.
Oh, just one more thing. Another subscriber.
Yay! Thank you.
Dr. Tachi.
I appreciate you. Appreciate you.
3 subscribers.
See you this evening.
3 subscribers in like so quick. All right.
Yay.
So let's close it out here. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get smaller to get stronger. Block assumptions. Aim bigger. Aim better. Aim higher. Aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Remember to give yourself grace. And if you're not making money, make history. Try to do both. And always make it better. Again, huge thanks to Emma for sharing. Huge thanks to Ryan. I think on Friday we have a Freestyle Friday coming up, but next Monday there's a number of conversations. You know, I do 1 or 2 a week. I think more than that. And then during the week on the Dr. Vibe show, I have a conversation with someone from the United Way of Canada. And they have a service called 211, which is a very good service that you need to know about. Actually, we're doing a 2-part. This week, we're talking about the 211 service. And I think next week, we're going to be talking about a report they did about African immigrants and their status. Because a while back, it was in the news. You don't hear about it anymore.
Yeah.
But
I know some information about that. But yes, you can definitely. I'll definitely be tuning in.
So there we go. So as always, God bless. Peace be. Keep the faith while good, and have a great day wherever you are and whenever you're watching this.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
This whole thing of using your business with plant-based products, don't you think your life should reflect that too?
Juke him, Carolyn. Juke him. The family loves us here because they're saying Fitness IQ Can says put a wig on to get in.
Oh God. Oh my God.
Like the ideas are just coming fast and furious here this morning. What? Okay, look at this. Global Women Ambassador. Good morning. Look forward. Okay.